It's the 31 days of Halloween, and I do not know what to say about this movie that hasn't been said elsewhere before. Besides that, I really, really find it infinitely rewatchable. And I love Kubrick's movies. I am a huge fan of Stanley Kubrick. Hey, let's get to it. Hi! Welcome to the 31 Days of Halloween, and we are watching horror movies every day of October until, you guessed it, the 31st of October on Halloween night. And I'm actually going to reveal perhaps my favorite horror movie on that day. But until then, we're just going to go through my giant stack and shelf of horror movies that I have in physical media, DVD and Blu-ray. Today, yep, it's The Shining. And I've seen this movie lots of times. So much so that if I need to watch the movie, I don't. I watch the auxiliary stuff, the documentary style stuff that pretty much explains every little nuance in this multi-layer cake. I mean, there are so many layers to this cake, and they all have different flavors. And that could be it for the trailer. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw that on. This is this was done by Vivian Kubrick, Stanley's wife, and this was her access and to equipment and film and production, whatever it was. She made a definitive documentary of this film while it was shooting. It was great. So it was a great document of this achievement in filmmaking. And for anyone watching this, you should check out Room 237. It's a documentary showcasing at least 4 or more different interpretations, from everything being an Indian burial ground to the halls make no sense, going around the halls. And it was discovered in a video game skin. I think it was for Doom or for Quake. This is early to mid 90s first person shooter game, and the developers threw a skin of the Overlook Hotel onto this first person shooter horror game. And then we're surprised to find out that some of these doors to some of these rooms don't go anywhere. Some of these hallways, if you turn the corner, there's a vista behind it when there's supposed to be a wall in hotel rooms. This thing is just so layered in order to discombobulate your perspective and your expectation of what is coming next. This is the first of maybe a few Stephen King books that got adapted to a movie. This is Stephen King's The Shining, but is not. This is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, which is a little different, and it has a life of its own. And this movie is just so rewatchable. It's still spooky. I've been watching this movie practically all my life, and it took a couple of documentaries to convince me that there's a scene where Danny Torrance comes out from behind somewhere, and he's disheveled and looking like look a little bit. He looks a bit struck. He looks a bit not beaten, but he looks a bit traumatized. He's not responding to verbal cues. He's dazed. He's distant. And that's when we figure out who attacked Danny. It was Jack. Jack did. And Wendy figures that out very quickly. She pieces it together that it was not a ghost that did this to Danny. That it was Jack Torrance, the father, that decided, to lay his hands on his son once again. But this time it was the directive of the bad ghosts living in the Overlook Hotel. And this is an amazing movie. This documentary it's part of the supplemental parts of the disc. I just got the old DVD copy. This is fine. This is good enough for me, you know. And I love Kubrick movies. I love Barry Lyndon. I love, Paths of Glory. Paths of Glory. I can't watch. I can't watch Full Metal Jacket anymore. It's just too, idealized of the violence and the whole Act One of the drill instructor. It's just it's overdone. It's overplayed. But if you want a real movie showing the real horrors of war, then Paths of Glory is just such a superior movie. Then there's Dr. Strangelove, and then there's just this body of Kubrick's work, and this is just chock full of auteur's vision of and then comes being the horror story. And this is our horror movie for today. It's October the 4th. We're doing the 31 days of Halloween. We're going to be watching horror movies every day all month long leading up to Halloween. And so this is my contribution for today. I really, for something that I've had so many thoughts about, I've got so many times that I've watched this, and I'm watching it again. I mean, this doesn't get old. This stays this stylized, moody piece about domestic abuse, and also about haunted Indian burial ground, and that there's nothing in this picture that's not purposely there. There is just so many incongruencies but your mind is seeing. You're seeing this. We're seeing this, and we know that things are not adding up. Things do not make sense, and we're kind of like Wendy Torrance, who I believe is our vehicle. That we're coming slowly to the realization that true madness and hopelessness is set in this place, and that it's nothing but danger. And there's just so much to unpack in this movie. This is a brilliant movie. It's a horror movie done by a visionary auteur who did so many movies before this and after, that this is legendary. I mean, these performances. We find out in this documentary that Stanley Kubrick kind of tormented this poor lady, Shelley Duvall, into this state, this palpable state that he's capturing her on film. And then, but like I said, check out Room 237. It's a documentary about the different theories of what's going on, and you really need to, if you love this movie as much as I do, to immerse yourself in this. Just the past 10, 15 years, I just find out more and more and more about this movie. Yeah, that on the surface is about a haunted house, but it has so many layers. So many layers. So I'm very proud to say that today is October the 4th. We are using today The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, as our movie for tonight. And I'll be watching this again. I can watch this movie over and over again. It's not his... I mean, I cannot rewatch A Clockwork Orange or Full Metal Jacket of his anymore. It's just too done. I've seen him too many times. And he goes to that hyper-violent place too often in those movies. This movie is a restrained set of that skill set, and it has it, and it uses it. Yet, I mean, it has matured with me, growing up over the years. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today we are doing The Shining. We're doing the 31 days of Halloween, where we're going to be watching after work, usually during weekdays. Sometimes I'm doubling up on them. So I can have weekends free. You know, I got to make content. I got to clean the house. I got to, you know, do my laundry. I got to go shopping. There's, you know, I got to rest and relax for my work week. You know, and I got a full-time job. And so the weekends are usually, you know, my shoot days. And, but I am watching all these movies. I've seen them before. A few of them I haven't seen. And I'm really looking forward to, like, getting into that. I am really, really thrilled to be doing the 31 Days of Halloween. I love movies. I love horror movies. I love this movie. I love Kubrick. This is up my alley, and hopefully it's yours too. Thank you so very much for tuning in. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Don't get snowed in, and check the batteries on your radio and check the wires on the Snowcat. All right. You have a great day. Thank you so very much. Cheers.